आराम से हो जाएगा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome back for all of you for second part of today's session. Today we are going to discuss now fourth canto, 14th chapter, sloka number 19 onwards. Yes. So in last discussion we understood that the people must follow Varnasrama dharma, and a king must see that they are following it nicely. So in the present day, even Iskcon, this is one of the objective of starting the movement, Krishna conscious movement, is so establishing the Varnasrama societies. It is written in 7th canto actually. In chapter number 14 purports you can find. Okay, so how to start that? To start a Varnasrama community, what we need first? Varnasrama College. So Prabhupada gave several instructions on that we have seen. Now we'll continue from 19th sloka. तस्य राज्ञो महाभागा भगवान् भूतभावनः परितुष्यति विश्वात्मा तिष्ठतो निज शासने.
Oh, noble one, if the king sees that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original cause of the cosmic manifestation, and the super soul within everyone, is worshipped, the Lord will be satisfied.
Yes. So Munis, they are pacifying, they are convincing King Vena to restart religious activities. The purpose of religious activities is satisfying Supreme Lord. So they are convincing him, they are trying to convince. Now you see the purport. It is a fact that government's duty is to see that Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by the activities of the people as well as by the activities of government. So if you see Indian Constitution, what is the preamble? What is the preamble of Indian Constitution? हाँ, भारत के लोग संपूर्ण प्रभुत्वता के लिए प्रजाओं के द्वारा प्रजाओं के लिए प्रजाओं से हाँ और the preamble of Indian Constitution reads as follows: We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. This is preamble. Is there anywhere satisfying Vishnu? Is there? Is not there. What should be the preamble of any state? Can you speak in a mic? Actually, it's very nice. We people of the India having solemnly resolved.
Only resolve to work together for satisfaction of Vishnu.
अतः पुंबिर द्विश्रेष्ठ वर्णाश्रम विभाग स्वनिष्ठित से धर्म से संसिद्धिर हरितोषणम.
That is how we will make sure that India is a sovereign, secular,
yes,
and there will be justice,
yes,
and economic and political and liberty of thought is there.
Yes,
that's how we will ensure.
That's the way we can get all these things will be achieved. We will become very, that means social, these things for all citizens, justice will be there, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, everything will be achieved by worshipping and satisfying Vishnu. That should be the preamble actually. So, government's duty is to see that The Supreme Personality of Godhead is satisfied by the activities of the people as well as by the activities of the government. This should be the preamble actually. There is no possibility of happiness if the government or citizens have no idea of Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. So that's why we are being subjects of Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we want to be happy, we all should try to satisfy Vishnu. That should be the preamble of any state. Or if they have no knowledge of Bhuta Bhavana, who is Viswatma, or the super soul, or soul of everyone's soul, the conclusion is that without engaging in devotional service, neither the citizens nor the government can be happy in any way. This is Prabhupada actually. Our politicians, they will be speaking like this. They will be working for how to engage everyone in the service of Vishnu. Like Yudhishthir Maharaj, like Prahlad Maharaj, like Sudrova Maharaj, all these Pandavas, they are all great Ambarish Maharaj. They are always engaging the citizens in service of the Lord. At the present moment, neither the king nor the governing body is interested in seeing that the people are engaged in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Rather, they are more interested in advancing the missionary of sense gratification. So what they are doing now? Simply they are calling for the different industrialists so to start machineries, to start industries. Consequently, they are becoming more and more implicated in complex machinery of stringent laws of nature. That means they are getting the day by day increased problems and complex problems. People should be freed from the entanglement of the three modes of material nature, and the only process by which this is possible is surrender unto Supreme Personality of Godhead. People should be freed from entanglement of three modes of material nature. That means everyone wants to be peaceful and happy. That is possible when they surrender to Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is advised in Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, neither the government nor the people in the general have any idea of this. They are simply interested in sense gratification. Or in whatever the fundamental rights are there, they are only to protect their sense gratification. Individual sense gratification is protected, that's all. They are not going to make sure that everyone is engaged in dharma as per the varna and ashrama, and they are not seeing that how to satisfy Vishnu. No, that is not the goal of our fundamental rights. So, the word Nijashasani indicates that both the government and citizens are responsible for the execution of Varnasrama dharma. So that's why Manusmriti has to be our constitution actually. And it will come actually one day. One day will be like that. Once the populace is situated in that Varnasrama dharma, there is every possibility of real life and prosperity both in this world and in the next. So this is the way. Now you say that Sanatan is. They do so many road shows. They do so many public gatherings and so much. But what is Sanatana Dharma actually? Varnashrama Dharma is Sanatana Dharma. And so satisfying Vishnu is eternal Dharma actually. This has to be properly discussed and it has to be implemented. Whoever is going to support this, and people, they don't have right understanding about Varnashrama Dharma also. Only for gathering votes, they say we are all Sanatanis and we will be one. But what is inside? What is their understanding? Very hollow understanding and narrow and shallow. So our devotees' responsibility is we have to, after giving initiation, our devotees has to be trained in Varnasrama College. So, and they will be trained as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and they will be starting a community. Those communities will be role model, and by seeing that communities, thousands of people, they will be get inspired, and millions and thousands of people will be coming and asking So opportunity to stay in that kind of communities. Then preaching also take up very rapidly actually. So
But Varnasrama College is like village we are having college like that or
like that. So we will be having various departments in Varnasrama College. Like Varnasrama College, let me share with you.
But nowadays colleges are just based upon money and career.
Varnasrama College curriculum.
Why people will come to Varnasrama College? Because now people go to college for job, career. Why they will come Varnasrama College? So there is no future like.
No. Future is there. That is the point. That is only the future actually.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. We will be providing job. This is Varnasrama College curriculum. So, see, people has to be trained as per their quality. Gunakarma Vibhagashana. So for that we need to have teachers. So Varnasrama College is not like just a concept. It will engage after training them in that college. People will be properly engaged. Someone will do the mud pots. Someone will be weaving. Someone will be making the mud house construction. These are all Sudra work. Anyway, someone is studying the Dharma Shastras and whatever the penal code is there in the so-called Indian system. That means we will be having our own as per the Dharma Shastras and Brahmanas. So they are helping Jyotisha, Vastu, Ayurveda. So जीने के लिए क्या चाहिए रोटी कपड़ा मकान so that means roti how to produce food so we'll be producing based upon the so organic farming and cows will be giving the milk and so kapada we will be weaving our own cloth and having our own construction of houses these are all basic things but what is the how to protect that village so how to organize village so then as per the dharma shastras we will be training the kshatriyas actually huh? Yes. So then after that, Brahmanas, we need the people who can do Porohityam, that means samskaras and so and so, worship. And we need teachers, and we need ministers, and we need Jyotishis, we need Vastu experts. So like that, see, whatever the sciences and technologies in the modern day are there, they are temporary and they are invented recently. But with Varnashrama skills and Varnashrama training, whole society was organized before this. And very prosperous and very nice it was. So same sciences we have to teach in Varnashrama College. So from where we should begin? We should begin from our devotees.
It was there, but because of corruption, it got destroyed.
Yeah. So that's why we are there to revive.
So who is like that, they will perform like that, they will charge money for that.
See, why you are going with one point? So try to understand the whole concept. So what details we'll be discussing later, but overall idea you are getting. So for organizing a community, whatever the skills and whatever that means things are needed, that we should train to our people. That's a fundamental idea. That is Varnashrama College. Prabhupada was saying again and again. He was saying again and again what Varnashrama College is needed. Therefore, a regular educational institution should be there where proper training of Brahmana, proper training of Kshatriya, Vaishya must be given. These four divisions must remain there. And so far the Brahminical culture, that must be there. Otherwise, you can't say that you become moralist. Where is the example of moralist? A section of person must be there, fully moralist. So that ideal section is now lacking. Therefore, what I have written, So Prabhupada is clearly explaining again and again. So therefore, this Varnasrama College is very essential. प्रभुपाद कन्वर्सेशंस, रूम कन्वर्सेशंस मॉर्निंग कभी पढ़ते नहीं क्या आप लोग? हाँ, कुछ भी देखते नहीं तो क्या है? प्रभुपाद फॉलोअर्स है ना हम लोग? नहीं नहीं, मॉर्निंग प्रभु
Morning followers.
मॉर्निंग फॉलोअर्स. So in our India, in place like Vrindavan, Naimishwar and like that, many people will come if Varnasrama College is established. अरे बहुत लोगों बिना जॉब का और आज का पढ़ाई पढ़ के after you see in within 3-4 years 60 to 70% of so IT jobs will be finished.
What is the role of temples and Prabhupada established so many temples?
Temples will preach, will bring the people. Huh?
Temples are not teaching these things who are according to nature.
That's the problem. Not every temple, wherever we have center, we should have Varnasrama College.
Because while preaching, we say, do what is your nature. We say, like preaching. So why are you working outside? Act according to your nature is not to work outside. Come to temple, stay with us.
But whole society cannot put in temple, na? We want to preach whole society or not? Whole congregation. How many are there in temple? Maximum 100, 200. What about your congregation? 10,000. We should facilitate them. 10,000 congregation is there. Juhu is having 10,000? Huh? More than 15, 20. At 10,000 you take it, Baba. So 10,000 congregation, how they are engaged? Tell me. So are they in fully temple? No, no. So that's the point. Are you able to catch what we are saying? Is clear? So Varnasrama College has to be established wherever, everywhere, wherever we have got our center, a Varnasrama College should be established. That's the point.
They are engaged by giving the.
Okay, Mike.
They are engaged by giving the so that. So what? Maybe they are working outside. They are giving so that. Plus every weekend they are so that they come there might be service like that. Not counted as
This is not counted as?
engagement.
No, that is not sufficient. Na? Why they have to work for others? और वो मेहनत करके असुरों के साथ में रह के बैठ के काम करके वो मेहनत करके पैसा लाएगा, आप उसको खा के बस आराम से मंदिर में भक्ति करेगा. ये कैसा स्वार्थ है? We have to release them from the demons association, demonic association. हाँ? क्या है? क्या बोल समझ नहीं रहे.
This life also they will be happy in the next life also.
By being in Varnasrama. Yes. Yes or no? So that's the main point we try to understand. It's very serious instruction. It's not a light instructions. Prabhupada is saying this. Anytime you go through this Varnasrama College word, first time, na?
No, in your class.
In my class, okay. Huh?
Reading books also, but we never thought that so much careful.
Now it's coming, na? Little.
So back to that Gurukula concept. Gurukula is also part of Varnasrama College.
No, Gurukula for the boys, young boys. Varnasrama College for the elders. No. Those who come to our movement, see, our movement procedure is like this. Sankirtan movement, temple worship movement, initiation movement, then classless society. These are the 4 phases. Initially, we do Sankirtan, we distribute books and we call the people to the temple. As a temple worship, we teach the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam life goal in temple. Then after that, they will become serious and we are giving initiation. Then after that, what is the next plan? Varnasrama next. So giving training in Varnasrama College, wherever we have temple, there should be Varnasrama College. They are trained in that, and then they will be settling in the land and cows.
Land and cows, that is
Community.
Vaishya only, Vaishya product.
Land, they should live agrarian based life. So that's why 80% people will be working in the production of food. But to organize them, administrate them, there is a king needed. And to guide them, Brahmanas are needed. Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are very few. Okay.
So like dedicated.
Mike.
They are like dedicated people.
Huh?
This modern society we should not follow. Very dedicated.
Dedicated people for what?
For this farm.
No, actually, who are not dedicated, they will be there.
Not dedicated, Krishna conscious.
They got initiation,
Huh?
They got initiation, now they are dedicated.
Initiation means 2 hours chanting they are committing, not the whole day they are ready to do. Dedication means 24 hours.
24 hours, 24 now you're talking about
The little dedication, Baba. Dedication means not like Drusha that they got now. They are not fully surrendered. They are committed for 2 hours and 4 breaks. But not that they are leaving family, everything. I don't want anything, and I will be submitting yourself to you, and you do whatever you want. You tell me 24 hours, I will do for you. Is it like that there? No, no. That is not the condition for first initiation. No? So they have some dedication. We are not rejecting, but why they has to work in the non-devotees association? They has to be trained in Varnasrama College and make them settle in a community where all the devotees who are aspiring for pure devotion. That is the meaning of this diagram.
Vedic
Sciences, all the sciences, Vedic sciences will be taught. Yes.
one practical work.
But concept is clear.
Yes.
Concept is clear.
So most of the time when the person is getting initiated, he is doing some job already. Not many people, the students, they get it. So when he is doing job, he has already learned a skill, already doing a job. He already thinks, now I'm settled. Then he gets in. So now to inspire him, okay, whatever skills you have learned for your life, in your life, forget that. Teach you some new set of skills based upon that, then you will work for future. So it's not
It's looking difficulty. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so maybe one point is either we shift the initiation time to little early, like we initiate a person 16 to 17, and then we teach him some skill, and then he works. So that seems to be more practical than
No. Here the point is, see, they learn the skills already by that time. So who are getting initiation? Even sometimes 40 age, 50 age people also they come. Here the point is you have to see appropriately those who are already 60 years and they came in Krishna consciousness and they are now taking initiation. You cannot force them to go and settle in the farm community. So this will be there for the young grihasthas mostly. So here we have to see, we don't ask them to leave the job. Whatever skill set they have now to work in modern companies, we don't reject that. You do, but parallelly you should learn. Or otherwise, occasionally we conduct the courses in Varnasrama College. It's not like a everyday course. And whenever there is some, that means that's why the concept is designed by Srila Prabhupada. He is giving a plan, then how to execute. Then now you have to see current problems are like this. So now, then what we have to do? We have to arrange for the maybe weekly and weekend programs. So that on different skills they are trained. Varnasrama College maybe on the weekends only. And they will be learning and they get in the confidence, and then after that they can go and shift in the land. So, and few people maybe even they don't have, like you see, Bhakti Vaibhava program also initially we were in the Mayapur Institute and Vrindavan Institute, VH. If you want to study, you have to go there. Now we want we made the plan actually. Why don't we go and teach there itself? So if you have a will, there is a way. These problems will be there, but I am requesting all of you understand concept actually. What is lacking in the present understanding, that you have to see. There is lacking in understanding is now we are thinking that already we are in the pure devotion and everything is achieved, then no need of anything else. This is okay, fine. This setup is fine. But now the point is this setup is not fine. That is the point I am saying actually. And this understanding is not full. Understanding of pure devotion is not clear. And if you understand pure devotion, then only you will understand need of the Varnasrama. If you don't understand pure devotion, then you will never feel the importance of the Varnasrama also. So then process also will be completely messed up. So then definitely Varnasrama College, how to execute, how to engage such a people who are already in the jobs, how to train them, that will be definitely plan it. But conceptually it is clear and Prabhupada's vision is clear, then we'll go. That is our headache. How to implement.
Is there the original manuscript?
Huh?
Original manuscript.
Is there? And various commentaries also there. Wow.
Without any addition.
नए नए लोग आ रहे हैं.
Without any addition, manuscript is there.
Yes, commentaries are there na. You can easily know. Critical edition we can make even if there is a problem. Huh?
And is there any use of?
Huh? And chalo Varnasrama how to implement we'll see in the next class.
Is
Okay.
there any use of AI in Varnasrama?
Hey, no. All this bogus. AI will make simply lazy. It's artificially created a type of civilization which makes one forgetful of his relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. Modern society even enables one to forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead's grace and mercy. So because now the modern society is set up in such a way, people think that from where milk is coming, they think that it is coming from dairy. That's so not dairy farm. They think that it's coming from freezer, it's coming from van actually, milk van. And they don't know most of the, sometimes the young generation, young boys. And food where they go from supermarket it is coming. They think like that. But actually that means modern way of setup will make us to take away from Krishna consciousness. But if you see, if you are working on the land and you are always remembering Krishna, oh my crop is there, my Lord, don't give any rains now. Or other crops are drying, then you will always think that Krishna, I need rains. So that means on immediately consciousness goes towards the Krishna. So that is the agrarian based life. Will be.
Yeah,
Huh?
Water supply nowadays.
Well,
To depend on rain now.
very few places, but most of the places the rains also there. If there is no rains, then there is where is the groundwater? Groundwater also will not be there. Very few places. In India, 70% water problem is there. Drinking water problem more than 70 is there. इधर किसी का ग्राउंड वाटर ड्रिंकेबल है क्या किसी का नहीं, सब बाहर से आने प्रोसेस करने के बाद. इवन मायापुर में गंगा किनारे में भी हम लोग डायरेक्ट पानी नहीं पी सकते. In order to rectify the world situation, all people should be trained in Krishna consciousness and act in accordance with the. This is our goal. In order to rectify the world situation, all people should be trained in Krishna consciousness and act in accordance with the Varnasrama system. इसको छोड़ना नहीं है. The state should also see that the people are engaged in satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the primary duty of the state. The Krishna conscious movement was started to convince the general population to adopt the best process by which to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus solve all problems. All problems can be solved by what? Varnasrama. All problems. All economic, financial, political, everything will be solved. Health. All problems we got because of rejecting Varnasrama system. Brahmacharis will become perfect brahmacharis. Sannyas will become very strong. Grihasthas will become happy. It's true actually. See, for settling now, people, even software people also, they have to learn now new tools. Every day they are learning so many new tools. Every 6 months, every 1 year, they have to learn so many new tools. But if you give little, that means you are the preachers, and if you give vision and if you give interest, if you create interest in them, vision in them, few intellectuals they will come forward and they are learning already so many new things. Why don't they learn these techniques actually, traditional techniques? So then automatically they will see they'll seek their life in this direction, their livelihood in this direction. So what the fields we need for starting a Varnasrama college to start a community? So those things will be given by us. Then after that, you have to find the interested people and encourage them. Let us see actually from every temple we want to see one representative actually who can be a point of contact and who is that? Talhasri. No, he's in the farm. What we want a person in temple. Aditya. Yes. What about you? He's a part-time. Yeah, we'll see actually. I'll discuss with your authorities. Yeah, I'll ask him your authorities. That's all. Okay. Tam sarvalokamaram yajna sangraham trayimayam dravyamayam tapomayam yajnai vichitrair yajato bhavayate rajan swadeshanurodha anurodhumarhasi. Dear King, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with the predominating deities, is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices in all planets. The Supreme Lord is the sum total of three Vedas, owner of everything, and the ultimate goal of all austerity. Therefore, your countrymen should engage in performing various sacrifices for your elevation. Indeed, you should always direct them towards the offering of sacrifices. Prabhupada is feeling this episode is so important because this is really going to reorganize the whole society. Here, Munis, they are saying to King Vena, Vena's representatives, we are all present demonic society is like Vena actually. And these Munis, they are giving instructions to him. What they are saying? So, religious principles and worshipping Vishnu and is the most important thing. So, society should be organized based upon the religious principles, that is Varna and Ashrama. And everyone should be engaged for satisfaction of Vishnu. And that is the same thing planning actually. Even if you want to become pure devotee, you also need this system. You cannot just wipe off that, oh, Kali Yuga, holy name, Harinam is enough. Yes, Harinam is enough. So who are there to take Harinam 24 hours? Are you just like Haridas Thakur, Harinam is enough and I don't need anything? That is a state of pure devotion. If we are like that, then you don't need Varnasrama. But you need nice things to eat, sleep, this, that, family, relations, everything you need. Then you need to regulate that life as per the Shastra so that you'll be in the mode of goodness. Next. Yagnena yushmat vishaye dvijatibhi vitayamanena sura kalahare svishta sutushta pradishanti vanchitam taddelanam narhasi vira chestitum. When all the Brahmanas engage in performing sacrifices in your kingdom, all the demigods who are plenary expansions of Lord will be very much satisfied by their activities and will give you your desired result. Therefore, O hero, don't stop sacrificial performances. If you stop them, you will disrespect the demigods. So the reigns are all in the control of demigods. By satisfying demigods through the sacrifices, they will be happy and they will give reigns. But now, if we stop sacrifices, they will not give rains, then there will be no rains. Venu Vacha. Then what is the reaction of Vena after hearing all this? Balisha bata yuyam va adharme dharma manina ye vruttidam patim hitva jaram patim upasate. King Vena replied, you are not at all experienced. It is very much regrettable that you are maintaining something which is not religious and are accepting it as religious. Indeed, I think you are giving up your real husband who maintains you and are searching after some paramour to worship. This is Vena's situation equally. People also they say, no, why you have to worship in temple deities? Just to help the poor people. This is enough. Nowadays also we see. And we have to be loyal to the government and we should work for the economical development. We all should work, no need to practice religious principles. No need to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Just to grow a brinjal tree, that is enough. Instead of studying Bhagavad Gita. Instead of worshipping Tulsi, have brinjal plant. Money plant, brinjal plant. This is like Vena actually. Vena also is saying. What is saying? So what is the need of? That means he is seeing worshipping demigods and worshipping Vishnu as so worshipping like paramour. And he is thinking that he is the real husband. And he is the maintainer and he is the giver of everything. And his expectation is all the citizens of his country has to worship him. No need to worship demigods or anything. And he is giving further logic, you see. So Prabhupada, before that purport we read, King Vena was so foolish that he accused the saintly sages of being inexperienced like small children. In other words, he was accusing them of not having perfect knowledge. In this way, he could reject their advice and make accusations against them, comparing them to a woman who doesn't care for her husband, who maintains her, but goes to satisfy a paramour who doesn't maintain her. The purpose of this simile is apparent. It is the duty of the Kshatriyas to engage Brahmanas in different types of religious activities, and the king is supposed to be the maintainer of the Brahmanas. If the Brahmanas don't worship the king, but they should go to demigods, they are all caught. They are as polluted as unchaste women. Okay, you all understood now? So that means Vena saying that worshipping demigods is nothing but worshipping paramour. He is thinking that I am maintaining and you all people should worship me. You are all living on my land. This country is mine. And I am the owner of this land. And you are all living here. So who is giving shelter to all of you? Myself. You should worship me. Who are seeing? Why you people are worshipping those demigods? What is the connection here? This is Avajanantyami Muda Nrupha Rupinamishwaram Nanu Vindanti Te Bhatram Iha Loke Paratracha. Those who out of gross ignorance don't worship the king who is actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is saying? King is actual Supreme Personality of God. Experiences happiness neither in this world nor in the world after death. If you don't worship, he's telling that if you don't worship me, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if you don't worship me, you will not be having the happiness in this world and also in another world. But what was the system actually? Vishnu, everyone should worship Vishnu so that they'll be happy in this life and also in the next life. Ko yajna purusho nama yatra vo bhakti ridrishi Bhartru sneha viduranam yatha jare kuyoshita. You are so much devoted to the demigods, but who are they? Indeed, your affection for these demigods is exactly like the affection of an unchaste woman who neglects her married life and gives all attention to her Vishnur Virincho Girisha Indro Vayur Yamo Ravi Parjanyo Dhanada Somaha Shite Ragnir Pampati Ete Chanye Chavibuda Prabhavu Varashapayo Dehe Bhavanti Nripate Sarvadeva Mayo Nripaha Sarvadeva Mayo Nripaha. All the demigods are in me only. You people all should worship me. Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Indra, Vayu, the master of air, Yama, the superintendent of death, the sun god, the director of rainfall, Kuvera, the treasurer, the moon god, the predominating deity of the earth, Agni, the fire god, Varuna, the lord of waters, and all others who are the great and competent to bestow benedictions or to curse, all abide in the body of the king. For this reason, the king is known as the reservoir of all demigods, who are simply parts and parcel of king's body. Actually, fact is, all these demigods' potency is given to king because he is representing Ashtadikpalakas. He is representing Vishnu, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because of that, he is given with their potencies. But now he is saying that he is reservoir and he is giving to them. Why you need to worship them? You worship me. This is Kali. This is the demonic nature. There are many demons who think of themselves as supreme and present themselves as the directors of the sun, moon, and other planets. Even our scientists and also atheistic scientists, they also think like that only. Na? We can control everything. We can bring the rains. We can invent anything. So all potencies are within us. Why you have to worship someone whom you don't see? Why you have to believe Lord? This is simply blind belief. So they say like that. So this is all due to false pride. Similarly, King Vena developed the demonic mentality and presented himself as the supreme personality of Godhead. Such demons are numerous in the age of Kali, and all of them are condemned by great sages and saintly persons. Tasman mam karma vipra yajadvam gatamatsara balincha mahyam harata mattonya kograbu puman mattonya kograbu puman. What is saying? King Vena continued. For this reason, O Brahmanas, you should abandon your envy of me. Gatamatsara. You are all envious of me. And by your ritualistic activities, you should worship me and offer me all paraphernalia. If you are intelligent, you should know that there is no personality superior to me. Who can accept the first oblation of all sacrifices? Bhoktaram Yajnadams. Aham Bhokta Sarva Yajnanam Aham Bhokta Prabhurevacha. This is then Maitreya. So what happened? What is the reaction of the Munis then? Ittam viparyayamatihi papiyanutpatham gataha anuniyamanas cha na chakre brashtamangala. The great sage Maitreya continued, thus the king who became unintelligent due to his sinful life and deviation from the right path became actually bereft of all good fortune. He couldn't accept the request of great sages, which the sages put before him with great respect, and therefore he was condemned. The demons certainly cannot have any faith in the words of authorities. In fact, they are always disrespectful to authorities. They manufacture their own religious principles and disobey great personalities like Vyasa, Narada, and even Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So that's why they don't care for scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, nothing. They have their own ideas, they have their own ideologies, principles, policies, and they are happy. And they don't want to so bother about or follow the instructions. As soon as one disobeys authority, he immediately becomes very sinful and loses his good fortune. The king was so puffed up and impudent that he dared disrespect the great saintly personalities, and this brought him ruination. Now you see the result. Iti te satkritastena dvija panditamanina Bhagnayam bhavyayam chayam tasmai vidura chakrudu. Oh, my dear Vidura, all good fortune unto you. The foolish king who thought himself very learned, thus insulted the great sages and the sages. Being broken-hearted by the king's words, became very angry at him. Hanyatam papa prakruti daruna jivam jagat savashu kurute basmasadruvam. They all became so angry actually. All great saintly sages immediately cried, kill him, kill him. Murder. He is the most dreadful, sinful person. If he lives, he will certainly turn the whole world into ashes in no time. Saintly persons are generally very kind to all kinds of living entities, but they are not unhappy. They are not unhappy when a serpent or a scorpion is killed. They are not unhappy. It is not good for saintly persons to kill, but they are encouraged to kill demons who are exactly like serpents and scorpions. Therefore, all the saintly sages decided to kill King Vena, who was so dreadful and dangerous to all human society. Nayamarhatya sadvrutto naradeva varasanam yodi yajnapatim vishnum vinindatyana patrapaha. The saintly sages continued, this impious, impudent man doesn't deserve to sit on the throne at all. He is so shameless that he even dared insult the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. So here, one should not at any time tolerate blasphemy and insults against Lord Vishnu or his devotees. A devotee is generally very humble and meek, and he is reluctant to pick a quarrel with anyone. Nor does he envy anyone. However, a pure devotee immediately becomes a fury with anger when he sees Lord Vishnu or his devotees is insulted. Madhyama Bhaktas. This is the duty of a devotee. Although a devotee maintains an attitude of meekness and gentleness, it is great fault on his part if he remains silent when the Lord of his devotees is blaspheming. Ko vainam parichakshita venamekam rite shubham prapta idrisham aishwaryam yadanugraha bhajanaha. But for King Vena, who is simply inauspicious, who would blaspheme the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by whose mercy one is awarded all kinds of fortune and opulences. Iptam vyavasita hantum rishayo rudhamanyava Nijagrurhum kuktairvainam hatam muchyata nindaya hatamachyuta nindaya. The great sages, thus manifesting their covert anger, immediately decided to kill the king. King Vena was already as good as dead due to his blasphemy against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, without using any weapon, the sages killed King Vena simply by high sounding words. ऋषिभिः स्वाश्रमपदं गते पुत्रकलेवरं सुनीता पालयामास विद्यायोगेन शोचति. After all the sages returned to their respective hermitages, the mother of King Vena, Sunitha, became very much aggrieved because of her son's death. She decided to preserve the dead body of her son by application of certain ingredients and by chanting mantras. She is also very dangerous to them. Tantric. That's why it's already we read. Her character is not so good. And she saved that body. I don't know why she saved it. It will come, but that sages used. But she kept na. She knows that, right? I think she wants to do something actually. Otherwise she kept. But sages use it. But how she knows that sages will come and do this? एकदा मुनयस्ते तु सरस्वत्सलिलाप्लुताः हुत्वाग्नीन् सत्कथाश्चक्रुः उपविष्टाः सरित्तटे. Once upon a time, the same saintly persons, after taking their bath in river Saraswati, began to perform their daily duties by offering oblations into the sacrificial fires. After this, sitting on the bank of the river, they began to talk about the transcendental person and his pastimes. Vikshotitan stadotpatan ahur bhayankaran. Apyabhadramanataya dasyubhyo na bhavet bhuvaha. In those days, there were various disturbances in the country that were creating a panic in society. Therefore, all the sages began to talk amongst themselves. Since the king is dead and there is no protector in the world, misfortune may befall the people in general on account of rogues and thieves. Because king is not there. So they are thinking actually, they are talking like this. Whenever there is a disturbance in the society or panic situation, the property and lives of the citizens becomes unsafe. This is caused by the uprising of various thieves and rogues. At such time, it is to be understood that the ruler, the government, is dead. If there are thieves and rogues are easily stealing money and looting, even government is there, you can understand that that government is dead government. All of these misfortunes happened due to the death of King Vena. Thus, the saintly persons became very anxious for the safety of the people in general. See, first of all, Anga left. They became anxious and they appointed Vena. After appointing Vena, he is giving torture like anything. So that's why once again they became anxious. And they killed him actually. Because they appointed, na? So such a bad king. That's why they killed him. Now, after killing also, they are not happy because now thieves and rogues, they are stealing and they are torturing the common people, general people. So now once again they became anxious for the safety of the people in general. The conclusion is that even though saintly persons have no business in political affairs, they are always compassionate upon the people in general. Thus, even though they are always aloof from society out of Mercy and compassion, they consider how the citizens can peacefully execute their rituals and follow the rules and regulations of Varnasrama Dharma. That was the concern of these sages. The society means Varnasrama Dharma. If there is no Varnasrama Dharma, then that is not a society. So sages always look for that people organized as per Varna and Ashrama and following their duties. And they are endeavoring to satisfy Vishnu. This is the basic setup of the society. If you want to do help to the society means what you should do? You should help in establishing Varnashrama. So even the objective of this Krishna conscious movement is establishing Daiva Varnashrama. Okay? Yes or no? No? Hare Krishna.
Yes. One of the objectives. One of the 7 purposes.
One of the objectives of Krishna conscious movement is to establish Daiva Varnashrama, but not to encourage so-called Varnashrama without scientifically organized endeavor by society. But not to encourage so-called Varnashrama without scientifically organized endeavor by society. This. So, Daiva Varnashrama, where it is in the purport of 7th canto 14th chapter sloka number 10. So,
Ideal family life.
Ideal family. Grahastha dharma is being explained. So this is the objective, one of the objective or movement. Establishing temples, so distributing books, these are all objectives. Like that, this is also one of the major objectives, which is weights 50% of his mission. 50% of Prabhupada's missions.
And everything will be accommodated
Because all problems will be solved.
for them.
That's why it is very difficult also. Yeah. All missionaries should give their blood and their everything actually. Everything, not only just blood.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll plan actually in future how to proceed. So we'll be selecting, appointing or identifying some individuals. So locally they can be point of contact to take up the activities towards this mutual. In this age of Kali, everything is disturbed. Therefore, saintly person should take the chanting of Hare Krishna mantra as recommended in the Shastras. So that's the saintly persons means who are the saintly persons? Those who are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. Kalau Nastyeva Gatirani. The saintly person is not so called कोई भी विभूति पहन के आएगा और horizontal like that, this and that. No. So whoever is chanting holy name, because that is the dharma, yuga dharma. Whoever is following that dharma, yuga dharma, they are saintly persons. And those people's instructions has to be heard. That means we. एवं ऋषन्तर्षयो धावतां सर्वतो दिशम् पांसु समुत्थितो चोराणामभिलुम्पताम्. When the great sages were carrying on their discussion in this way, they saw a dust storm rising from all directions. This storm was caused by running of thieves on roads, who are engaged in plundering the citizens. Ghoda lake ekdam some horses, stealing money and running it. And dust is raised like anything. It's become like a cloud. Those many thieves. thieves and rogues simply avoid some political upset in order to take the opportunity to plunder the people in general. To keep thieves and rogues inactive of their profession, a strong government is always required. So that's why what Swayambhu Manu used to do to control thieves and rogues in 23rd canto, 23rd chapter, 22nd chapter. Kardamuni was explaining Swayambhu Manu how he was ruling. With his chariot, with his army, he used to go around his kingdom all the time. There's a siren just basti hai na police van ka waisa inka rod of chastisement just by hearing the sound of his chariot and his horses, all the thieves and rogues they are hiding actually, running away from the cities or even the villages. They are always hiding in the forest. That is the duty of king. King means not just sitting happily and enjoying with queens. No. King means he has to move around with his rod, chastise with his weapons.
This
Huh.
this verse, this expression is just arise as they were discussing. This is some poetic expression, but
Maybe.
not literal.
Not literal, maybe actually. We don't know.
Is there any commentary by some other?
सही commentary कुछ भी नहीं ये chapters में एक भी commentary थोड़ा सा है कहीं कहीं वो ना के बराबर शब्दों का अर्थ प्रभुपाद खुद दे रहे हैं commentary कुछ नहीं 5 chapters no comment in next chapter ending there is there I will discuss that तदुपद्रवमाज्ञाय लोकस्यावसुलुम्पताम् भर्तुर्युपरते तस्मिन् अन्योन्यं च जिघांसताम् चोरप्रायं जनपदं हीनसत्त्वमराजकम् लोकान्नारयञ्चक्ता अपि तद्दोषदर्शनः Upon seeing the dust storm, the saintly persons could understand that there were a great deal of irregularities due to the death of King Veena. Without government, the state was devoid of law and order, and consequently there was a great uprising of murderous thieves and rogues who were plundering the riches of the people in general. Although the great sages could subdue the disturbance of their powers, just as they could kill the king, they considered it improper on their part to do so. Thus, they didn't attempt to stop the disturbance. Actually, these sages, they have power to kill all the rogues and thieves and make everything so sit right. But that is not their job actually. That is the job of Kshatriya actually. Why they will do? If they then they will be entangled actually. Then all their purity will go out. Then bias, they are also biased and there will be a lot of contamination will come. So paradharmo Vaibhava. So others' duty is very dangerous actually. Even if they are able to do, but still they should not do. They should appoint the appropriate person for doing that duty. So that's why sages they didn't take up the ruling of country into their hands. No. They were looking for a proper king. So what they did for that? So before the saintly persons and great sages killed the king Veena out of emergency. But they didn't choose to take part in the government in order to subdue the uprising of thieves and rogues, which took place after the death of King Veena. It is not the duty of Brahmanas and saintly persons to kill, although they may sometimes do so in the case of an emergency. They could kill all the thieves and rogues by the prowess of their mantras. But they thought it is the duty of a kshatriya kings to do so. Thus, they reluctantly didn't take part in the killing business. Brahmana samadrukshanto deenanam samupekshakaha sravate brahma tasyapi pinna bhandat payo yatha. The great sages began to think that although a Brahmana is peaceful and impartial because he is equal to everyone, it is still not his duty to neglect poor humans. By such a neglect, a Brahmana's spiritual power diminishes, just as water kept in a cracked pot leaks out. That means even devotees, if they don't react actually, and be devotees, Brahmanas, paradukka actually. So if they don't react the painful situation of the living entities in general. So if we are not reacting means our heart is becoming hard. Whenever the heart is hard, then it is becoming very prone to commit offenses. This will be the actual next immediate step. Hard heart is the cause for committing offenses. So soft heart. So as much as we free from the offenses, that much heart will become soft. And it will be so soft by seeing the pain of the other living entities, immediately it start becoming melted and flowing. That means their mercy will flow actually. That's why bhakti makes heart so soft. But in Gnani's case, heart will become so hard and non-reactive. That means they are, what is that? Dukkeshwana dignamanha. Sukheshu vegatas veta raga bhaya krodha. What is that? One more. That means. Sitwa. And samas. What is that? Samas sitra. Sama laba labo jaya pachayo. What is that? Jaya jayo. No, that is the devotees. Hey, 12th chapter, don't recite here. That is for devotees actually. Second chapter things you should quote for the Gnani. And 12th chapter things for devotees. So anyway, so Gnanis, what they are practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, they are making that means situation is like that, they're non-reactive actually. Their heart is non-reactive for any good or bad or any pain or pleasure, anything. But in the devotee's case, so their heart is so soft because of the pure devotion. And that is becoming so melting actually by seeing the other's pain. So that's the devotees, even previously also in the same chapters, in the same series of, in these chapters, we have seen. Prabhupada is also writing like this. And here what? Brahmana, being a Brahmana, so spiritual power diminishes actually. If he is not reactive. That means if we think that why I have to bother about these things, others pain, let them suffer. I will be my own life and I can be in my own life. That means what? What is your reaction actually in your heart? That hardness is there in the heart. That hardness heart is not going to achieve Krishna prema. So that means what? We have to do only welfare activities. Also, that is not the meaning actually. So-called welfare activities we do. No. Devotees are the most intelligent people actually. They give the permanent solution, not the so-called temporary solutions they give. They give the permanent solutions and proper solutions. So that every living entity will be happy. Not only human beings, all the living entities should be happy. Do you have any botheration when the living entities are dying because of this technology? Do you have botheration when the so many fishes and so many living entities who are living in the water, they are also getting died because of, especially your Mumbai is the most dangerous place because of which industries you know? Huh? Dangerous industry which is destroying all the water. Huh? You are all missing.
Cosmetics.
No, main thing, main major Mumbai is famous for what? बॉलीवुड से क्या हुआ वो तो चेतना खराब कर दी थी नॉट फिश cloth industries huge gallons of water is destroyed actually huge pollution because of this cloth industry mills textiles textile is the biggest industry which is polluting water and this is the most majorly happening here and because of textile mills so many millions of people thousands of people lakhs of people became unemployed actually in India and and because of that cloth also our cloth is also not at all good actually wearing for our body and after that is polyester and polymers they use and decomposition of that cloth is going to produce a huge pollution in the earth so in the production also a lot of pollution in the water and the decomposing of the clothes so you see outside if you go Mumbai different places so much garbage what are there in that majorly clothes so nowadays becomes so much fashion every new item they by following Bollywood so they are adapting the new styles so every 2-3 months they will remove out so many clothes use it and go for new trend so that it's piling up and earth is got polluted and so many living entities are dying so what is the solution for this huh जोर से बोलो yes for all the problems there is only one solution
Traveling is how we solve.
huh?
Traveling.
Traveling no need to travel what is it Prabhupada also said no need to travel huh? धाम तो कोई बात dhams are there everywhere nearby to you wherever the nearby dham is there go there
Tire industry.
tires also polymers plastics petroleum industries dangerous actually that means what the Vaishnava is reactive for everything actually Prabhupada was so much if you hear his lectures he was condemning the industrialization and factories this way of lifestyle pollution because he's a paradukku his heart is so soft हम लोग का क्या है अरे हमारा 16 माल हो रहा है ना बस चलो बस हो गए खाओ पियो और बस मजा मार बस हो गए क्या है कौन इसका कौन हेडेक लेना है सब ये क्या था व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वैष्णविज्म दिस
Only across India, for roads, so many mountains are getting cut.
yes
Just to make the straight road.
mountains also very important there are the bolts actually for earth to hold earth what are they needed mountains are needed two plates if you want to hold it what you need screw you need na? Similarly to hold earth what is needed mountains so mountains they have their own role and this technology is increasing anyway this is not going to sustain for a long time because it's a suicidal systems any linear system always
Short time.
finished yes na in the control systems you remember For stable system, what is the loop gain? Total
System.
stable system.
Table.
Stable system. Are control systems you study or no? No electronics. Electronic students are there. Electricals and electronics. Prabhu, what is the loop gain? Forward gain and backward gain, how it should be?
Zero. Zero.
Are 0? 1, yeah, -1. AB is equal to -1. Forward gain and backward systems. Forward system is a linear system. And then if you want to make it stable, you should take some output and give it to the input. And what is the gain of this? It's a B. So total is product is AB is equal to -1. That is sab bhul gaye.
It's good now we have forgotten.
No, it's useful. To make the stable system, you should be like गोबर लिया, so गाय से गोबर आता है, गोबर से so फसल आएगा, फसल को गाय को देंगे और हम लोग बीज खाएंगे, उसको दाना अनाज खाएंगे और उसका और घास उसको देंगे और उससे गोबर आएगी. क्या कौन सा सिस्टम है ये क्लोज्ड सिस्टम है, ये स्टेबल सिस्टम. ऐसा नहीं कि फर्टिलाइजर्स को जमीन से निकाले केमिकल से और उसको जमीन को डाल दिया और उससे क्रॉप आ गया और वो वैसे ही पोल्यूट हो गया, बस खत्म. तो ये क्या है? ये लीनियर सिस्टम है. All linear systems are unstable. All closed systems are stable. So that's why we should make everything stable. So everything should be renewable actually. And it should be reused. Previously we have the bags, jute bags. So jute is coming from the plants. And these jute bags you can use nicely. And when they are not usable, they become old, then you can just throw it in the mud, then it will be decomposing easy. And once again, so our earth is get fertile actually. The fertility will increase because of jute also.
Jute dhoti kurta should be. Plus also.
Actually, there is one Prabhu actually in our ministry, and he did a good research, and he will explain actually what kind of cloths we are using, what is the disadvantages, and how much we are contributing to pollute this earth. So many statistics also there. So that means the modern way of approach is increasing. That means involving us to do sin actually. We are involved in all kinds of sinful activities, knowingly or unknowingly. Knowingly also, we are knowing now, but still we don't want to come. And that means, how can you say that you are following 4 regulative principles when you are involved in this? Huh? So that's why what is the system? At least you should endeavor to stop this. By that also Lord will be happy. But if you become so blind actually and forcefully you neglect it, I don't care. That means you are making your heart so hard actually. I don't want to react for these things. मेरा भक्ति चल रहा है ना प्रभु, कौन सा भक्ति चलेगा?
Everything in the service.
युक्त वैराग्य. Then why don't we follow the instructions given in Prabhupada? Prabhupada is clearly saying that come out from this. Yukta Vairagya's definition is also not like that actually. Yukta Vairagya is not that do the sinful activities. So Prabhupada also wanted his emergency we are using. Now we are using technology, this and that. So, but in the due course of time, he wanted everything to become not sinful actually. They become as per Shastra. So that approach is needed actually. We are not asking you to leave immediately, but what is your plan to become, that means to stop this kind of useless things and to bring the safe life and sinless life. So what is your endeavor? That is more important. What is your approach? How much you are endeavoring? That is very important. If that is not there, that angle is not there, then it's gone case. If you are endeavoring, then it's nice. Because now you cannot stop everything. And then it's very difficult. But at least to have a transition, So there should be a plan, there should be interest, there should be some enthusiasm, some energy contribution should be there. Then Acharya will be happy. Prabhupada also used aeroplanes, Prabhupada also used cars, Prabhupada also used petrol, everything. But also he is trying to, he immediately 1967 he asked to start farm communities. And 1970s he has seen a warning. How many instructions he has given? Start Varnasrama College. You do preach in cities also, but one day he'll come where we don't need to stay in cities and we don't need any city temples also. He said this statement. You can see in the, you can see actually in Prabhupada's conversation in the folio.
City temple.
Huh?
We don't need city temple.
Is there anyone find actually? Can anyone find that? No need. Prabhu, you have?
I remember reading it in that book.
Yeah.
Prabhupada and Varnasrama.
Yes. Anyone can find that quote by the end of class. Or otherwise tomorrow I will show. Prabhupada also said that we don't need to books also. If anyone want book, then they will write it. He wants such a stable society. That much extent he was telling, he was instructing his disciples. So Prabhupada, disciple asked Prabhupada, then we have city temples, then what we will do with this? He said, we don't need all this. So we'll be settled down with land and cows, Krishna, and we produce whatever food we need, and we have our own self-sustainable communities, and we'll be practicing. So Bhakti, that's all. This is his wish. He want to take the whole end result of all our preaching should be where it should end. It should end such a sustainable, peaceful, happy communities. Then our preaching is successful. आधा करके बस नहीं पूरा करो. We are not rejecting whatever we teach. That is very important. We are doing, but remaining thing we should not neglect that. Okay, no problem, no need. No. At least if you have soft corner, that is also good. But don't reject that we don't need anything, all of these things. At least whoever is doing, don't criticize them and don't disgrace them actually. This is also enough.
Okay, you're talking about morning walk between Prabhupada and Bhagwan.
I don't know. I don't remember the. No.
Yes, Bhagwan is asking, what about our city temples?
Yeah.
Because no, for the time it may go on.
Tell me that.
1974 morning, 27th of May.
Can you tell some words in that?
We don't want cities.
Hey, right.
Yeah, I'm giving you reference 27th of May 1974. Okay, morning.
27?
1974.
Where? Bhagwan Prabhu. That's it.
About one. There is no need of it.
Huh?
It just came. There is no need of it.
Where is? There is no need of printing books. Okay, we will go a little bit. So from here, but they are saying they use all wood for paper, so there is no more wood. Proper? No. Paper you can make from grass, from cotton, so many other fibers. You don't require wood. You grow grass sufficient quantity and you make paper. Why should you publish so many rubbish literatures? Just like you are telling, the Times of India newspaper, the sound of cars. This is a difficulty. Okay. So this is a disturbance. So paper, if you don't produce unnecessary paper, there is no scarcity. From grass, you produce grass, huge quantity of grass, you will get paper. Okay. All the rejected paper again. Okay. Produce your own food. Even you can produce your own paper. You don't require printing so many books. If there is one book, others can imitate or copy. There is no need of printing. Formerly, they used to do that. And Prabhupada ka vision dekhi. You're understanding? Huh? I didn't understand that about one book. From one book. Suppose we have prepared some small quantity of paper. So you can, if you want that book, you just copy another book. Means by hand. Bhagavan. Yes. There is no need of printing books. Ultimately, our book distribution will lead to what? No books. Our goal of the distributing books is no book distribution. Goal of the city preaching in cities is what? No city temples. No cities also. This such a peaceful and so happy community should come. That is the Prabhupada vision. So some people would be engaged in copying books. No, you engage yourself. If you want book, that book you copy yourself. Why someone should be engaged for you?
For the ancient system.
That's the Prabhupada wanted. Like Pandulipi. You have got enough time. You are not going to the factory or 100 miles for your earning livelihood. You are on the local space. You have got enough time. You just take copy, that's all. Okay. Where is temple, bro? City temple?
At the end.
Oh. Huh? Or down?
Yes, you get down.
कहा? नीचे तो सब एकदम नाश्ता हो गया है. हाँ? ये ना. So what about our city temples? No. For the time being, it may go on, but as we make progress, there will be no necessity. City means for the present we have got. Because the city is there, we are there. But suppose the city is closed, we shall be there. If the city, we shall be there. If the city is closed, you still be there. That means Prabhupada want to shift everyone to community section. But we can predict that the cities will go on for quite some time. Yes, it will go on. But when they will see that your ideal community is better than city life, people will take to it. Param drashtva nivartate. That is his vision. Such a communities you can make when you have proper Varnasrama College. What is our endeavor? So that means we are doing some as per the Prabhupada mission and vision. We are doing definitely, but we have a lot to do. That you should not forget. अभी आराम मत हो जाइए बस हो गया बस हम तो ईद प्रीचिंग कर दिया हो गया. You have a big goal actually. That's why you can be brahmachari always. If you have a big mission and big vision, you can feel enthusiasm. नहीं तो अभी 40 साल हो गए शादी करेंगे यही सोचेंगे अभी. मिशन हो गया अभी हमारा बहुत बच्चों को भक्त बना दिया अभी और बचा है और बचा मिशन थोड़ा शादी कर लेंगे. क्योंकि एंगेजमेंट नहीं है, एंथुजियाज्म नहीं, कुछ नहीं.
अगला 50% मिशन करने के लिए.
यस, वैसे रहना चाहिए, झील रहना चाहिए. देयर शुड बी एंथुजियाज्म.
मैरिंग इन 40 crore.
अच्छा, यू विल प्रोड्यूस चिल्ड्रन.
मंदिर को ब्रह्मचारी बोलते हैं.
मंदिर को ब्रह्मचारी देगा, वो खुद नहीं बना, क्या गारंटी. चलो ठीक है.
वो तो बन के कैसे दे सकता है?
चलो चलो चलो. So this is the thing actually. The great says that means they are very soft-hearted. Vaishnavas are very soft-hearted and they are concerned about everything. Even they don't want to harm for ant also, like Jadabharati we can see. So then how they can tolerate that because of their existence, so many living entities are getting because of their practices, bad practices. If living entities are suffering, definitely they will make a plan how to relieve all these living entities from that kind of pain. The best plan is daiva dharma. Brahmanas, the topmost section of human society, are mostly devotees. They are generally unaware of the happenings within the material world because they are always busy in their activities for spiritual advancement. Nonetheless, when there is a calamity in human society, they can't remain impartial. If they don't do something to relieve the distressed condition of human society, said that due to such a neglect, their spiritual knowledge diminishes. That means they should do something. If they don't do something to relieve the distressed condition of human society, then their spiritual potency will be diminishes. Almost all the sages to go to Himalayas for their personal benefit, but Prahlad Maharaj said that he didn't want liberation alone. He decided to wait until he was able to deliver all the fallen souls of the world. That is the spirit of Vaishnava. Okay. चलो थोड़ा सा स्पीड करना. नांगस्य वंशो नांगस्य वंशो राजर्षेर् एष संस्थातुमर्हति अमोघवीर्या हि नृपा वंशेऽस्मिन् केशवाश्रयाः. The sages decided that the descendants of the family of the saintly king Anga should not be stopped. For in this family, the semen was very powerful and the children were prone to become devotees of the Lord. Amoghavirya. Because Dhruva Maharaj's descendants, they are all Anga and so on, so Vena. So that's why, so these sages are thinking the Virya of the Vena is also useful. The purity of hereditary succession is called Amoghavirya. The pious seminal succession in the twice born families of the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, especially as well as in the families of Vaishya, also must be kept very pure by observation of the purificatory process beginning with the Garbhadana Samskara. That's why it is said. If 7 generations, at least, if they follow purificatory process properly, then the boy, whoever is taking birth in that family, will belong to that Varna of the family. Chance that is preserved actually. That Varna quality will be preserved. So that's why you have seen in ancient systems, most of the places also. So Kshatriya's son is becoming Kshatriya. But that is not mandatory actually. But in the Kali Yuga, it's gone. Because purificatory process, that means Shoul samskaras are not observed strictly generation after generation. Now it is completely gone. They do Upanayana samskara also at the time of marriage, which should happen at the age of 5 to 7 for the Brahmanas. For Kshatriyas, 7 to 9. And for the Vaishyas, 9 to 11. But now, even Vaishyas, they do at the time of marriage. What is the use of that Upanayana samskara? Everything became just a formality. So, can you expect that in that family, then Vaishya is going to take birth? It's impossible, actually. Anything can happen randomly. So that's why there is a need to identify the Varna through the Varnasrama College. Varnasrama College is open for everyone. If he is able to complete the curriculum of the Brahmana, then he is a Brahmana. Like in the modern education, if he is able to complete the curriculum of the engineering, then he is engineer. Like that. Simple actually. Anyway, curriculum is already made. Prabhuji, yes. For you, that I did curriculum. Which is observed before conceiving a child. Unless this purificatory process is strictly observed, especially by the Brahmanas, the family descendants become impure. And gradually sinful activities become visible in the family. Maharaja Anga was very pure because of the purification of the semen in the family of Maharaj Dhruva. However, his semen became contaminated in association with his wife Sunitha. Sunitha. Bad wife से बर्बाद हो जाएगा. Next person will be in the bad. That's Vena, that's well. But in the Vena's body, semen of Anga is flowing actually. So, who happened to be the daughter of the death personified. Because of this polluted semen, the king Vena was produced. This was the catastrophe in the family of Dhruva Maharaj. All the saintly persons and sages considered this point, and they decided to take the action in this matter and described in the following verses. So now to extract the semen of Anga from the body of Vena, they started churning actually. They are trying to produce. So person from that body only. Vinischaityevam ऋषयो विपन्नस्य महीपते ममन्तुरुरुं तरसा tatrasi bahuko naraha. After making a decision, the saintly persons and sages turned the thighs of the dead body of King Vena with great force and according to a specific method. As a result of this churning, a dwarf-like person was born from King Vena's body. That person was born by the churning of the thighs of the King Vena proves that spirit soul is individual and separate from the body. The great sages and saintly persons could beget another person from the body of the dead King Vena, but it was not possible for them to bring King Vena back to life. और एक बना देंगे लेकिन उसको King Vena was gone and suddenly he had taken another birth, another body. Anyway, so this is about the soul. Kaku Krishnoti Haswango Aswabahur Mahanu Haswapanim Nanasagro Raktakshastamra Murdajaha Raktakshastamra Murdajaha. This person born from the King Vena's thighs was named Bahuka, and his complexion was as black as crows. All the limbs of his body were very short. His arms and legs were short, and his jaws very large. His nose was flat. His eyes were reddish, and his hair copper color. Tam tute vanatam dinam kim karomiti vadinam nishireti bhavam stata sanishadastato bhava. He was very submissive and meek, and immediately after his birth he bowed down and inquired, "Sirs, what shall I do?" The great sages replied, "Please sit down." Nishada. Sit down. Nishada means sit down. Thus, Nishada, the father of the Nishada race, was born. Now onwards, he became Nishada and that race. It is said in the Shastras that the head of the body represents the Brahmanas, the arms represent Kshatriyas, the abdomen represents the Vaishyas, and legs beginning with the thighs represent Sudras. The Sudras are sometimes called black or Krishna. The Brahmanas are called Shukla or white, and the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are mixture of black and white. However, those who are externally white are said to have skin produced out of white leptocytes. It may be concluded that white or a golden hue is the color of the higher caste, and black is the complexion of Sudras. Tasya vamshastu naishada girikanan gochara yena harajjayamano vena kalmashamulbanam. After his birth, he immediately took charge of all the resultant actions of King Vena's sinful activities. As such, this Nishada class are always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, and hunting. Consequently, they are only allowed to live in the hills and forests. Nishadas are not allowed to live in the cities and towns because they are sinful by nature. As such, their bodies are very ugly and their occupations are also sinful. We should, however, know that even these sinful men, who are sometimes called kiratas, can be delivered from their sinful condition to the topmost Vaishnava platform by the mercy of a pure devotee. Engagement in the transcendental loving devotional service of the Lord can make anyone, however sinful he may be, fit return home back to Godhead. One has only to become free from all contamination by the process of devotional service. Only this Harinam is going to purify them. Then the Bhakti and the purports of 4th and 14th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Story of King Vena. Wow. Now we start 15th chapter. आधा घंटा में फिनिश कर देंगे. मैत्रेय उवाच अततस्य पुनर्विप्रैर अपुत्रस्य महीपते बाहुभ्यां मत्यमानाभ्यां मिथुनं समपद्यता. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Vidura, thus the Brahmanas and the great sages again churned the two arms of King Vena's dead body. As a result, a male and female couple came out of his arms. Actually, these same chapters I have to teach you 2 more times. Already I finished 1 more. The second, third, and fourth. तदृष्ट्वा मिथुनं जातं ऋषयो ब्रह्मवादिनः ऊचुः परमसन्तुष्टा विदित्वा भगवत्कलाम्. The great sages were highly learned in Vedic knowledge. When they saw the male and female burn of the arms of Vena's body, they were very pleased, for they could understand that the couple was an expansion of a plenary portion of Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, Prutu came and Archi. Prutu and Archi. So here, the method adopted by the great sages and scholars who were learned in Vedic knowledge was perfect. They removed all the reactions of King Vena's sinful activities by seeing that King Vena first gave birth to Bahuka, described in previous chapter. After King Vena's body was thus purified, a male and female came out of it. And the great sages could understand that this was an expansion of Lord Vishnu. This expansion of course, was not Vishnu Tattva, but a specifically empowered expansion of Lord Vishnu known as Avesha. That means Prutu Maharaj also is Jiva Tattva only, but Lord's ruling power is given to this Jiva. So that's why whenever the more amount of power is given, then that is known as Avesha. If less amount of power is given, it is known as Vibhuti. There is a difference between Avesha Avatar and Vibhuti. Demigods all are Vibhutis. And like here you can see Chatushka Maharaj and Prutu Maharaj, Narada, Vyasa no. Vyasa is directly Amsha of the Lord. He's Amsha. He's not Jiva Tattva. Sometimes he's Jiva Tattva, but not now. And who are this? Narada is over. Narada, Kumaras, Prutu, and Rishabhadev. Yeah, you can say by seeing his activities. Until unless someone is not given with the power to preach like that, otherwise Jivatma cannot do that. Simple Jivatma. So in that way, you can say.
Okay.
Uh,
So their process was perfect, and all the scene came as a sin personified Bahu.
Bhauka.
So only purity was remaining, and then Ritu and Mexican. So Vena had both sin and piety, some amount of piety.
Piety is not belongs to his. That purity is from Anga.
Yeah, so but it was there in his body, and he was so arrogant. And when the sin personified came out of his body, total sin, he was so humble.
He was so
Humble. He was going down.
Acha, Nishada he was. So that Nishada came out of sin. It means that's why his bodily features are resembling. And you don't know what is his nature. They are stealing, robbery. They used to do that. But he is humbly sitting means even Hiranyakashipu is also humble. But what is their business? Plundering, stealing, murdering. That's why they were all removed out from the cities. They used to stay in the forest and mountains. ऋषय ऊचुः एष विष्णोर्भगवतः कला भुवन पालिनी इयं च लक्ष्म्या सम्भूतिः पुरुषस्यानपायिनी. The great sage said, the male is a plenary expansion of the power of Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire universe, and the female is plenary expansion of the goddess of fortune, who is never separated from the Lord. So, here Prabhupada is writing, like Ravana. Ravana want to separate Lakshmi from Vishnu. So, that kind of endeavors all will become failure. So, that is the meaning actually. Is explained in this purport. That's why anyone want Lakshmi, then what they should do? They should worship Vishnu. Ayam tu pratamo rajnam pumam pratayita ayashaha pruturnama maharajo bhavishyati prutushrava. Of the two, the male will be able to expand his reputation throughout the world. His name will be Prutu. Indeed, he will be the first among kings. There are different types of incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Shastra, it is said that Garuda and Lord Shiva and Ananta are all very powerful incarnations of the Brahman feature of the Lord. Similarly, Sachipati or Indra, the king of heaven, is an incarnation of the lusty feature of the Lord. Aniruddha is an incarnation of the Lord's mind. Similarly, King Prutu is an incarnation of the ruling force of the Lord. Thus, the saintly persons and great sages predicted the future activities of King Prutu, who was already explained as partial incarnation of plenary expansion of the Lord. So here, why he is said as a first king? He will be the Adiraj. Because he is going to make the earth. Before that also other kings are there. So he is going to make whole earth into flat, and so make the everything is suitable to living actually. And by his activities, he is said as Adi Raja because of his glorious activities. That kind of activities were not done by anyone before. Iyam cha sudati devi gunabhushana bhushana archirnama vararoha prutumeva varundhati. The female has such a beautiful teeth and beautiful qualities that she will actually beautify the ornaments she wears. Her name will be Arch. In the future, she will accept King Prutu as her husband. Esha sakshat tareramsho jato lokari rakshaya iyam cha tatparahi sriranujajnena payini sriranujajnena payini. In the form of King Prutu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared through a part of his potency to protect the people of the world. The goddess of fortune is the constant companion of the Lord, and therefore she has incarnated partially as Archie to become King Prutu's queen. King Prutu was such as avatar of the Lord. Similarly, Archie was King Prutu's wife was Sekti. So,
Wife and husband, whether it's they get married, proper rights to purport that it Ashrama propagation.
yeah.
If
If they come Sayonija, if they are coming from one uni, then they are wrong. So their birth is not like from uni they are not coming. No? So they are not Sodaras, not Saudara, that is Samana Udara. They are not coming from one womb actually. So that's why, like you male and female, so Manu's rules are applied to, especially first one more thing is whatever this wife and that means brother and sister should not marry, that is for whom humans, not for the demigods and not for the higher species. Descendants of the Manu. From Manu onwards only, if you see in the 13th chapter of the 3rd canto, so creation started from there with the pair actually, Maithuna Kriya. Satarupa and Swayambhu Manu, they did Maithunam, then produced 5 children. Before that, there is no Maithuna Kriya. Brahmaji's body directly appearing, Prajapatis, Manu, Satarupa, all are directly appearing. They are not because of Stri Purusha Maithunam, no. So, after appearance of the Manu, when Manu formulated actually this Samhita, Manu Samhita or Manu so Smriti, there he is writing. From there onwards, male, female together, that means they are doing the Maithuna. And after doing Maithuna, whoever is getting the birth from one womb, then they should not get married actually. For them, that is applied. But not for the species who are special cases. They are all not comes under humans. Prutu and also Sarchi, they will never come. And Shatrupa and Swayambhu Manu, he is not a like Manusha. He is directly appearing from the like Prajapatis he appeared. Like how the Prajapatis appears. So rules are applied to descendants. Yeah. Even in the case of actually in one place you can see in the Draupadi's case also, Draupadi is also Yagnaseni. She is not a human being actually. Directly appearing from Yajnakunda actually. And one way you cannot apply. That is one way. So you cannot apply the human rules on her. And anyway, the Mahabharata says that these 5 Pandavas are nothing but one Indra only. So Indra is having the combination of all Vayu and Dharma and so what is that? Ashwini Devatas. So all their portions are there in him, being a king. So their portions, that Indra's Vayu portion took birth as Bhimsen, like that issue. Not Indra's dharma. So took as the dharmaras. And there also that Yamadharmara's portion also is there. But here the point is Indra's Yamadharmaraj is also controlled by or ruled by whom? By Indra. So that's why Indra is having the portion of the Yamadharmaraj because the king is the embodiment of all the devatas, na? We have read already. So that Dharmaraj portion took birth as Yudhishthira. And that's why all the 5 Pandavas are one Indra. That story comes in Mahabharata. In that way, that is another example anyway. So what you are asking, Prabhu?
Guruji, here it is mentioned that goddess of fortune is a constraint companion of the Lord, and therefore she is incarnated partially as Arshi
Yes.
to become king through sweet. So that means, is she an expansion of Lakshmi herself?
And she is also Jivatma, and her to her Lakshmi's energy is given to that Jivatma. Then she is Archi. Not that Jiva. So see, Archi is not the Swamsha of the Lakshmi, no. Similarly, Prutu is not Swamsha of Vishnu, no. Prutu is Jivatma. But for that Jivatma, energy of the Lord, ruling energy of the Lord is given.
The special powers of the.
That's all. In bigger amount it is given, then it is known as Shakti Aves Avatara. In lesser amount energies are given, then that is known as Vibhuti.
So, what is the concept of or the limit of brother and sister bond? For example, same Udar you said, Saudara. Other than that, what is the?
Other than that is one thing, and also as per Manusmriti, so same family. That means brothers, daughters, sons who should not marry. Its rules are there actually. Manusmriti you can find. I'm not exactly knowing these sutras, slokas. But in the North India, they don't marry like one male and female are there, brother and sister, sister's son and brother's daughter. They don't marry in North India. But in South India, they marry. Yes. But in Krishna's case also, in Dwapara also they was married, na? But
Not those married.
yeah. But now they look North Indians.
The proper right
Yeah.
marriage of rare thing.
But it is common also, you know.
Right.
Andhra it is common.
Cannot become brother.
Okay, Maitreya Vacha. Prashamsanti smatam vipra gandharva pravarajagu mumuchu sumanodhara siddha nrityanti swastriyah. The great says Maitreya continued, my dear Viduraji. At the time, all the Brahmanas highly praised and glorified King Prithu, and the best singers of Gandharva chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka showered flowers, and the powerful and the beautiful women in the heavenly planets danced in ecstasy. Shankaturya Mudgan Mrudangadaya Nedur Tundhabayo Divi Tatra Sarva Upachagmur Devarshir Pitrunam Gana. Conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers, and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to earth from various planetary systems. Brahma Jagat Gurur Devai Sahasrutya Sureshwarai Vainyasya Dakshine Haste Drishtva Chihnam Gadaprataha Padayoravindam Chatam Vai Mene Hare Kalam. Yasya pratihatam chakram amsha saparameshtinah. Lord Brahma, the master of the entire universe, arrived there, accompanied by all the demigods and the chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Pruthus' right hand and impressions of lotus flowers and the soles of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, one whose palm bears the sign of a disc, as well as other such lines should be considered a partial representation or incarnation of the Supreme Lord. आप भी अपना देख लीजिए, कुछ है तो कोई डिस्क है, कोई चक्र है, शंख है, गदा है, इसे तमिल इसमें रहता है ना ये. Say, actually, this is also one of science actually. By seeing the how many chakras you have, how many shanks you have, so based upon that, we can say that means who can be you. Palmistry. So by that, it is also science. It's a valid science. It is a part of Jyotisha. Yeah. Purport. There is a system by which one can detect an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nowadays, it has become a cheap fashion to accept any rascal as incarnation of God. But from this incident, we can see that Lord Brahma personally examined the hands and feet of King Prithu for specific signs. In their prophecies, the learned sages and Brahmanas accepted Prithu Maharaj as plenary partial expansion of the Lord. During the presence of Lord Krishna, however, the king declared himself Vasudeva and Lord Krishna killed him. Before accepting someone as an incarnation of God, one should verify his identity according to the symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. Without these symptoms, the pretender is subject to be killed by the authorities for pretending to be an incarnation of तस्याभिषेक आरब्धो ब्राह्मणे ब्रह्मवादिभिः आभिषेचनिकान्यस्मै आजः सर्वतो जना. The learned Brahmanas who are very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for the king's coronation. People from all directions collected all different paraphernalia for the ceremony. Thus everything was complete. So now they want to coronate Lord Prithu as king. So for that they want different paraphernalia. Everyone is bringing different. So we will be quickly reading all these slokas and reaching to the almost all the end. Okay. Saris samudra girayo naga gava kaga mruga yaukshiti sarva bhutani samaja. What is it? Upayanam. Sanskrit source. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, animals, heavenly planets, the earthly planet, and all other living entities collected various presentations according to their ability to offer the king. So Bishikto Maharajaha Suvasa Sadvalamkruta Padnyarchishalankrutaya Virejeknirvaparaha. Thus the great King Prithu, exquisitely dressed with the garments and ornaments, was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife Archi, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. Tasmai jaha radanado haimam veeravarasanam varuna sailasravam atapatram shashiprabhavam. The great says continued, my dear Vidura, Kuvera presented the great King Prithu with golden throne. Treasurer hand, golden throne he gives. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water and was as brilliant as the moon. Vayuscha vala vyajane dharma kirti mayam srajam Indra kiritam utkrishtam dandam samyamanam yamaha. The demigod of air, Vayu, presented King Prithu with two chamaras of air. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a flower garland which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable helmet. And the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a scepter with which to rule the world. Brahma Brahmamayam Varma Bharati Haramuttamam Hari Sudarshanam Chakram Tatpatnya Vyahatam Sriyam. Lord Brahma presented King Prithu with a protective garment made of spiritual knowledge. Bharati Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him a transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with Sudarshan disc. And Lord Vishnu's wife, goddess of fortune, gave him imperishable opulences. Here the Prabhupada is writing, this disc is not like Vishnu's disc. It is also having some, like how Prithu is lower, some Sudarshan's quality is there in that disc. Now it is not completely Sudarshan disc. So it should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by personality of Godhead Krishna or Vishnu. Since Maharaj Prithu was partial representation of Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc is given to him, presented partial power of the original Sudarshan. Yes. Dashachandram Simrudraha Shatachandram Tatambika Somomruta Mayana Shwasam Tvashta Rupashrayam Ratham. Lord Shiva presented him with a sword with a sheath marked with 10 moons, and his wife, the goddess of Durga, presented him with a shield marked with 100 moons. The moon demigod presented him with horses made of nectar, and the demigod Vishwakarma presented him with a very beautiful chariot. Agni Rajagavam Chapam Suryo Rashmi Mayanishu Paduke Yogamayyo Jau Pushpavali Manvaham. The demigods of fire, Agni, presented him with a bow made of horns of goats and cows. The sun god presented him with arrows as brilliant as sunshine. The predominating deity of Purloka presented him with slippers full of mystic powers. The demigods from outer space brought him presentations of flowers again and again. The verse describes the king's slippers were invested with mystic powers. Paduke Yogamayya. As soon as the king placed his feet in the slippers, they would immediately carry him wherever he desired. Mystic yogis can transfer themselves from one place to another whenever they desire. A similar power invested in these slippers. Natyam Sugitam Vaditram Antardhanam Chakechara Rashayascha Shisha Satya Samudra Shanka Atmajam Shankamatmajam. The demigods who always travel in outer space gave King Prithu the arts of perform drums, sing songs, play musical instruments, and disappear at his will. The great sages also offered him infallible blessings. The ocean offered him conchal produced from the ocean. Sindavah parvato natyo rata pitir mahatmana sutota magado vandi tam stotum upatastire. The seas, mountains, and rivers gave him room to drive his chariot without impediments. And a Suta and a Magada and a Vandi offered prayers and praises. They all presented themselves before him to perform their respective duties. Stavakamstana vipretya pruturvainya pratapavan Meghanihavacha prahasan idamabravi. It's missing again. Thus, when the greatly powerful King Prithu, the son of Vena, saw the professional before him to congratulate them, he smiled and with gravity of the vibrating sounds of clouds he spoke as follows with Vandis Magadas and Sutas. What he said, tomorrow we'll see. 4 slokas are there. Tomorrow we'll finish tomorrow chapter also. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.